Oh no, boys and girls. Weather report for Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. Double Rainbow guy went to get tested for COVID and then found out he was suffering from something else. So apparently, but then they never released his cause of death, so we don't know. But anyway, he called himself Yosemite Bear on social media. But everybody should know about Double Rainbow guy. Anyway. Hello?
Yeah.
That's the resolution of a conversation, side chat, and listeners that we were having before this began. So
I mean, you always complain. Did I interrupt you when you talk? I was just, being polite.
Yeah. Well, when I quit talking, that's your cue to start talking. Okay. I don't know if you know how that works or not, but while I'm talking.
I mean,
okay,
honestly,
like
I don't
you
know.
see. Okay, you see what you just did there? I was still talking, and then you started talking. Okay, now watch this. Okay, I'm going to stop talking.
Okay, well, I may have autism. I don't follow.
Beautiful.
Please be patient.
God, you did really good that time. Okay. It ain't that fucking complicated, Midnight.
I mean, please be patient. I may have autism.
Anyway,
I shouldn't joke about that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Double Rainbow guy. I wonder if you get a copyright strike for this from Yosemite Bear. He probably owns copyright to this. Let's try it. Whoop. Oh, I can't do it because I don't have my headphones on. Anyway, okay. Everybody should check out the Double Rainbow guy. Died at 57. Sad about that.
I mean, I hope I don't die at 57.
Yeah. May 10th, 2020.
Okay, so I've never heard of this guy, and he became famous just because of that video?
Yeah, because he was going so nuts over the double rainbows. Like, oh my God. God. He goes on. Yeah, he's like a hippie dude. He was, okay, he obviously just smoked a whole fuck ton of weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is amazing how the simplest little things can just do phenomenal on YouTube. Like just certain things. I don't know what it is. I guess
I know.
That's why I kept. I stopped aggravating you, but I was trying to come up with like something to like make your channel grow. And it's like you look at that and it's like, come on, why can't we come up with something? You wish you could come up with the answer, but. I don't know.
Okay, you want to play your clip, Top Dog? We just found out that Doofus and Dorkoff did another video.
What clip?
The unmusic one that we were reviewing before.
Oh, I sent you the email of it.
Oh, you did. Oh, you want me to play it?
Do you want me to play it?
Well, it's a WAV file. That ain't gonna fuck. I don't even know if I can share that fucking
What
thing.
is this? What is this? What is my life? I can't do it. I can't do it. That's what we're dealing with, man. You gotta draw the line somewhere. You gotta draw a line in the sand, dude. You gotta make a statement. You gotta look inside yourself and say, what am I willing to put up with today? Not this. Not this.
That was Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps.
Actually, that's me every night when I find a new Lil PP video or a new SFT debate.
That is Little PP for sure. That's exactly the way he behaves. I mean, look at the way he has his fits, his little hissy fits. He comes on this channel, he has this little hissy fit. He goes on Smokey's channel, has this little hissy fit. Goes on Praises.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yes,
then he
has,
talks about atheists and their maturity, and look at the way he behaves.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's what I find hilarious about him.
I think it's a problem with not having adequate dick energy.
Yeah.
How he
Yeah.
Subadequate.
Yeah. And usually the people, like we talked about, the people that like brag about certain things, like, you know, him bragging about he was a party animal, or him bragging about a relationship or anything. Those are the people that don't actually experience those things, but they want to.
So I wish Molecular would come in. We could talk about epigenetics a little bit, but there's
He should be in about 15 minutes, according to the chat. He typed about 5 minutes ago.
Did he say that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it's a complicated field. So epigenetics has been a thing that developed, I think, in the 90s. So it's fairly new. So it's about 30 years old in biology. The term itself was created by Waddington, I think, in 1943. And he meant, let's see, what did he mean? He had a kind of a specific meaning for it, but I forget what it is exactly. But I do have a book or two on the subject, and it's a whole complicated series of modifications of DNA and histones that determine whether or not DNA is going to be expressed or repressed. And there are, I think they've uncovered somewhere between 30 and 60 different reactions that happen. And some of the reactions can bunch up your DNA into a little ball, and that DNA will not be expressed at all. And then there are other interactions in the cell, like chromosome regions in the nucleus, where chromosomes will actually attach themselves to the lamin on the inner surface of the nucleus. And that is a field I think we're going to find out a hell of a lot more about. So, but anyway, all of that tends to put DNA either in reach of the transcriptional machines or out of reach, one or the other. And then on top of that, there's all sorts of other modifications. Now, some of these modifications are permanent, and some of them can be transferred through somewhere between 1 and 4 generations into the future. And in some cases, like I said yesterday in fungi, they found I think 100 generations were basically the methylation. But it's not going to give you an entirely different animal form. It will give you a different cell type, basically. So you create very, very different cell types. Now they trained these rats to hate, I think, the smell of acetone or something like that. And that hatred did something to the neurons in their olfactory system, so that was actually transmitted from one generation to another. So at least the children were still afraid of that smell. So it was almost like here we have a behavior that was transferred epigenetically. But when people hear that, they mistakenly think that it's going to be a mechanism of evolution. And there's a small amount of truth to that, because it's going to change. It's basically going to make changes in a population and what a population does. And that might have an effect on the genome overall. But the thing is, epigenetics cannot create a brand new protein. Okay. The protein has to be in the genome. Epigenetics is involved in regulation, and it's very, very complex, and it's an emerging field. And one of the reasons why they are very interested in it is because epigenetic errors can lead to a lot of cancer type troubles in your body or whatever. So anyway, on T-Jump's Discord, you should be on the weather report. Anyway, so who left? Somebody
All right.
left.
I was following along.
That was Andrew.
You just confused the shit out of me, so I'm not even gonna.
Okay, what was confusing? So what part wasn't confusing?
Well, I don't know shit about this stuff on how like you would just saying like traits. Now, like you said, people mistakenly call that evolution. So like I would be a person that would be mistakenly calling it that.
Okay.
Kind of. Because
Fine.
of a lack of understanding, I guess, of how all that stuff works. You know, you just don't have enough knowledge of how it works. So it would seem like that for a layman, right?
Yeah, but God, it's a mistake to give it too much credit. I think is the problem. To say that it can do more than it can actually do. So let me see if I can.
Right. So that's what a layman would do, right? That's a
Right.
layman would give it too much credit because they're not knowledgeable enough on.
Can I ask a question about
on
that?
all of it.
Yeah.
When you say epigenetics, did any alleles change or allele frequencies?
No.
Okay, so that's one way to say it's not evolution, because evolution in most circles is defined as changes in allele frequencies over time.
Right. So what it can do is it can have an effect on a population, on a generation, right? And that effect on the population can have an effect on which allele. So it's kind of a roundabout secondary effect that it can have on. So they're looking at it as one of the mechanisms of evolution. So, and that is about all I know about that.
So will that trait maintain? Like you're saying, it's in a generation, but will it maintain continuously, or would it?
No.
Yeah.
There's
so there's the tricky part right there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But we're not sure. There is some possibility that it will keep getting passed down, but I think eventually that DNA modification is what it is going to disappear. The reason it's passed down is because they didn't think it was. They're surprised that sometimes males can even affect it, because males inject pretty much just DNA. The mother injects an entire cell, right?
Right. Yep.
And that makes a difference. I'm trying to get a drawing pad up here. So come on, give it to me. Where are you? One of my monitors. What's happening? It's a double rainbow.
I find it amazing is, these all these Bible thumpers. I mean, to me as a lay person, you look at this stuff and it's, it's quite amazing. We're slowly learning, and there's so much to it. It's so complicated. And these Bible thumpers just throw it all away and say, oh, it's all a bunch of crap, which is, it's just ridiculous. And, their only motive is because it doesn't fit with their Bible, Well,
what they want to find is more complexity. That's all they care about, is more complexity.
Right. They want to make it worse. So so they can deny it or whatever,
Yep.
Yeah. So because they don't, it's basically proving their God wrong, or proving that God has nothing to do with any of this, and they don't like it, right?
Yeah.
They don't notice that the complexity comes from nature doing random things, and then it's the ones that survive are the ones that keep reproducing. So,
So normally when you see a chromosome, you'll see you'll see the form it takes when the cell is about to divide. This sort of crossover. This is the centromere, right here. Normally you see that, but that isn't quite how they are in the cell. In the cell, they're inside. Okay, this is the cell. This is the outside of the cell, or the inside of the cell, whatever, so it's a huge cell. And this is the nucleus. Okay. So along the edges of this nucleus, there's these laminar fibers, right? That just, kind of curl around the edge of the nucleus. And there's something really interesting that was recently discovered, I think within the last 10 or 15 years. And that is that chromosomes occupy a region inside of, this particular like it'll be all folded up here, and then they kind of have like danglers that pop out into the cell. Well, when it's all bunched up like this, what's happening is there's these histones, which are it's 8 different proteins that are hooked together, and the DNA wraps around these histones. I should have used a different color, but it wraps like 1 or 2 times around the histones. I think there's, I forget, 92 bases inside of every one of these. And then there's another histone over here. And these are called nucleosomes, I believe. And anyway, so it just keeps wrapping around these things. When it's wrapped like that, it's very hard for the transcription machinery to get a hold of it and to attach to it. Andrew, how come you aren't in here? You should be talking to me about this stuff. Anyway.
Well, I made a new forum for Epigenetics.
Yeah.
On your site.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, we should stick some stuff in there. Anyway, so we've got all these different, different regions where these chromosomes, they have their own compartments. Like chromosome 2, there'll be, 2 of those. There'll be 2 chromosome 3s out here. There'll be another 3 out here. And the cell, and this is what they call the 4D nucleome, basically. So the 4D nucleome project at ENCODE, they're trying to figure out exactly how these things are structured inside the cell, because it's all very complicated. Now, in addition to that, we've got epigenetics or epigenetic effects, where, let me see what kind of color I can use for this one. I'm supposed to use purple. But onto these genes, you can end up methylating huge sections of them. So they'll be methylated, and that means that they might inhibit transcription. And then there's effects where these histones have little wires sticking out of them, and those things can be have a number of chemical modifications that will cause these things to unwrap. So now all of a sudden we got like it's like, imagine you have a bunch of beads and you wrap a thread around them, right? So you wrap a thread around these beads, okay? Like that.
Yeah, I'm listening. Keep going.
Okay. Now, and they have little extensions. There's one protein that always sticks out, and these can be modified to the point where this one will unwrap, and now it looks like this. So now it wraps. So this one is cut out, right? So now this is unwrapped, and now that can transcribe. And the important part about that is that, oh my goodness, I need a double rainbow. Okay, so the important part about that is when you get the zygote from the mama, so this is mama zygote, okay, and daddy comes and does whatever daddy does, shoots some DNA in there, right? Okay, and you have one cell type, and this cell type is capable of becoming all the cell types in your body. And then there's like some complicated things that happen in this cell, and as the cells divide, basically, so the cell divides, you got 2 mama cells, then you have 4 mama cells, and there's some complicated things that will make this your butt. So this is your butt, and this becomes your head, okay? So things get oriented in space. And then these cell types will either have regulatory or epigenetic modifications that will create a new cell type. And I'm waiting for CRISPR to come in and tell me how many mistakes I'm making here. But anyway, so now we have a new cell type, okay, right here. So this is a new cell type, and this thing will divide, and it will form, suppose it'll form some mesenchymal cells, and eventually they'll differentiate into your lung cells or your heart cells or whatever. But once it goes down this pathway, so it receives these epigenetic modifications all the way through here. Am I confusing or helping? So basically there's epigenetic modifications happening that will turn basically a stem cell, okay, into this particular kind of hierarchical cell type. It's almost like it's almost like a hierarchy of animal types, species, and then we'll have another modification that'll turn into N1 cell type. So now you have two N1 cell types, and that might turn into an M1 cell type and a P3 cell type, right? And these P3 cell types will keep dividing, and that becomes your heart, and one becomes your liver, and but once you have these epigenetic modifications, they're sticky. Okay, you can't. They have been able to turn some regular cells into stem cells again. Okay, they've been able to back up a stage or two, and that has been kind of a boon in medicine. But for the most part, in your body, once these cell types differentiate, you're pretty much stuck with that cell type. If you get a cancer, say in this P3 cell type, so it becomes cancerous, that will metastasize all over your body, and you'll end up with like lung cells all over your body, and they'll be growing tumors in your kidneys and in your liver and whatever. So that becomes a problem. So we want these things. Well, molecular alchemy could tell you more about cancer. I don't know shit about it, but anyway. So the point is that you
now
start
that's continuous, like that's continuing. Now you're showing that as almost like when a first life form is being created, but that you're talking about continuous throughout your life, right? Is that what?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the cell types they're programmed, and let's see what molecular alchemy says.
So just so you know, you're not going to turn me into a molecular biologist in 5 minutes. So,
well, I'm trying.
Don't feel bad, but I'm following
but anyway,
along, but I'm certainly not going to turn into one.
The interesting thing about this is, when a species evolves from a fish into a mammal, it can't go backwards, right? It's not going to go back to a fish. Okay, and then that turns into, an ape, and that turns into a canine, right? So, I mean, it's kind of like there's a forward movement. And
yeah, that's interesting. Why? I wonder why.
Isn't that very similar to these cell types? These cell types differentiate into subcell types, and then they create other subcell types and subcells. So we have evolution of your cells inside your body as you develop. Now, and even a creationist will admit that there is no supernatural intervention in this, yet they think there's supernatural intervention here. So polyclonal repressive complex is one of the specific gene silencing complex we study in cancer. So are you displaying molecular alchemy? His comments? Okay. So anyway, but epigenetics is a really rich and complicated field already, and we've barely scratched the surface.
So when he's using molecular is using the term positively charged. Does that mean a positive trait? Is that he's used it twice here, that term. Is that that's a positive trait? Is that what he means by that?
I don't know.
It's positive charge there. He used it twice in 2 comments, and reading his comments to follow along too. So
ATP dependent manner. Let's see. Okay, he's talking about PTMs, post-translational modifications. These. Okay, so I gotta. Here we go.
Yeah. So way back, he used positive tail, negative DNA. Like if you go back a few of his comments. So I'm trying to follow along with his comments too.
Okay.
He wrote yes. So that's okay. All right.
Yeah, there's a higher order structure, like if these beads on a chain, these beads of DNA.
Yeah.
If they become highly methylated in these strands, they will start to bunch up. So you got beads that are bunched up into higher order structures, and these higher order structures are what repress the transcription, I think is what he was saying up here. So anyway, I just kind of abbreviated that a little bit. Yeah, it is an inherently transcriptionally repressive. But now, what I don't know is if it's wrapped around the histone molecular, can it transcribe from that without unwrapping from the histone? That I don't know and don't understand.
And you also, like we've talked about before, you got negative, and neutral, and positive traits, right? So,
yep.
And most are neutral, right? That's true, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, most traits would be neutral.
Okay.
But epigenetics
I'm learning
is it
slowly.
most traits that are passed on? You mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the modification of the DNA itself is a very different thing than epigenetics. Epigenetics is going to be primarily interested in this differentiation, and epigenetics and histones and all of that, even though they have some forms in prokaryotes, it was primarily a eukaryotic thing, and it's what allowed the differentiation of cell types to occur. Basically, this modification. So. Okay. Yeah, there are complexes that move the core around. So you can, like this bead here, you can slide it along the chain and expose another part of the DNA. That's what he's saying. So,
Andrew's question, I'm putting it on the screen here. You're being quizzed.
I don't fucking know. To an octopus or a roundworm meat? I'm going to guess octopus.
I was going to guess roundworm meat. But
well, get your butt in here and tell us about it, Andrew.
Yeah, I thought the octopus, isn't the octopus like totally different? They almost have like a, their DNA or whatever is like totally different than like everything on the planet? Or
that's just the...
I've never seen that verified. That was that weird paper that they popped out, right? That octopus was way different. Yeah. I'm sure they have some things that are different, but anyway. So it is an octopus. So I got it right, Andrew. So there. So come on in and tell us about it. Tell us why, because it certainly isn't intuitive, right?
So remember now we talked about the other day, I'm not trying to change the subject, we talked about my desires, right? One of the things would be really cool, like I thought about, was like when we talked about that, is like that Mars, the rover, that thing was like driving along on Mars and all of a sudden came across a freaking skeleton there. And then they could pick the thing up, bring back to Earth, test the DNA possibly on it or something, and find it completely that's what I'm talking about. Something like that would be pretty amazing.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
I don't foresee that happening, but that, like, something like really huge like that would be pretty cool.
So far,
molecules that we can differentiate from Earth contamination or Earth sourced contamination would be great.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. Something like that. Yeah, if they could do that, right.
And if my suspicions about abiogenesis are correct, if an alien race landed here, they could not eat us. They would find our amino acids unpalatable. And they may find, they may have entirely DNA made of different nucleic acids. And they would most likely have a different set of amino acids that they coded for. They might even have a 4-codon system and code for 100 amino acids or more.
There might be like signs where their skin would burn if they could touch water, right?
That's the thing, is we have a sample of one. So we just, this can be many, many different ways of things, evolving or developing, So, yeah.
So Andrew, you got some pictures of phylogeny for octopuses and roundworms and earthworms for us?
I can pull one up. Give me a
second. We would like that.
I didn't mean to derail the whole conversation, you guys. It was just a question.
Well, you sure as hell did derail the whole conversation.
Yeah, Andrew.
You
must bear that responsibility for the rest of your life.
But anyway, that's what we do here, is get derailed. So thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a derail friendly zone.
Is Otangelo here? Oh, Molecular thinks he's here, but Otangelo's been mad at me for a long time about Benny Hill. Suddenly, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I think he's definitely been lurking here less because he usually shows his presence. He'll usually,
Yeah,
I don't think he can help himself. He'll make comments, especially if you bring him up. If you start talking about him, I don't. think he can help
Otangelo, I
himself.
miss you. I miss you, Otangelo.
Yeah,
Please.
Well, he's getting attention elsewhere, like
Yeah.
Garth Dawkins and talking to bigwigs like Pine Creek and Digital Gnosis and them. So
yeah, he's
You
been
pulling up
going
that
everywhere. I mean, jumps on every channel. Tons of them. So, and you see a bunch of the fights. He's been battling. He's had a few battles with Darth, which is pretty good.
Okay.
Because Otangelo, he's big on evidential stuff, and Darth doesn't like that at all. So
Here's your beads.
Beads.
And all the different kinds of modifications. This is a paper, I think, hopefully I have a link for this paper, Transposable Elements, Epigenetics, and Genome Evolution. And he has a theory that basically with all of these viruses that attacked the genomes and made them larger and all the duplications, that epigenetics pretty much, we needed it in order to shut off all of the effects that we would get from all these transposons and stuff. And I think that's what this paper is about. Let's see. I'm pretty sure you can look it up on Google if I just throw it in my description like this. But anyway, this is let's see, nice little picture that I put for today's show icon. But anyways, does that clear it up at all? You've got your genome, right? And you can't have every protein transcribing all at once. And every cell type is going to have a different set of proteins that it needs to transcribe. And basically, epigenetic modification happens in some sort of almost a lineage that will change your cell types. So anyway.
can you elaborate on genomes, if you can?
On a genome?
Yeah, any way you can. Yeah.
Oh, I could try. Okay,
Like
let me.
the difference between, I don't know, like,
Okay,
educate me.
well, I'm trying to figure out where you're at first.
I'm way at the bottom.
Molecular Alchemy posted a link to pretty nice diagrams like yours, but I think it's quite a bit different, but I think it has good teaching application to it.
Having
It's
a
the one
look.
marked
Oh, yeah.
232 from Molecular.
Yeah, this shows the higher order structures. So, share screen. Hi, Jay.
Yeah. So
Let's
I'm
Jay.
way at the bottom, Speed. So wherever you want to start.
AJ.
No, but
Jay, how you
anyway,
doing, man?
you can start. You can go anywhere you want, but just anything that you're going to go over is going to educate me. So
Okay, so this is
That is
This
if you
is
can
basically-
comprehend it.
yeah, well, I'm trying. I don't know. It's not easy, that's for sure.
this tells you a little bit about, okay, those histones, they end up bunching into higher order structures, and I think there's like 2 other higher order structures, and eventually they curl up into this X-shaped chromosome up here. But there's more to the structure. There's more levels to it. You got the beads on a chain level, and then you have them clustering together in these groups, and then they form these. I forget what they call them. 30 something. I forget what they call them.
What,
But
kind
anyway-
of, what kind of teacher are you? You can't teach him what all the terms are. He wants to
Well-
learn something, and you're leaving shit out. The fuck, man? No, just kidding. Just giving you a hard time. Out of curiosity, because I just want to be able to hear myself talk here. Is this in like? Because I just popped in here. I was in here a little bit, but is this something to do with something that Otangelo's talked about?
Standing for Truth on his debate the other day, he makes a big thing out of epigenetics, and Otangelo does too. He talks about the epigenetic code and how. Oh, and we had some ass in here yesterday called himself Nutty Atheist, and we think it was Lil Peepee.
LPP, yeah.
LPP. He was pretending he was an atheist, and he was trying to help us by telling us all the different layers of epigenetics that there are and how complicated it all is. And that's all they want to say is it's so complicated. God must have done it. That's all they care about.
Appeal to complexity. Appeal to complication.
Right. Well, you know what's really interesting about that is there's almost like two kinds of people. There's a kind of person like myself who sees complexity in natural things, like in naturalism, right? I see this immense complexity, like fractals and stuff. And then there's the other kind of person that believes that nature can't possibly do anything other than be gray lumps of clay, and that nature isn't capable of doing anything complicated by itself, right?
Of course, it has to be guided. It can't just run itself. No God could even do that.
Yeah, and so basically these people are, I call them materialists, the Christians that believe that God had to do it, because they think that the world is made of this lumpy gray material that's really stupid and can't do anything by itself. It just, all you would end up with is lumps of clay. Nothing would ever form. Whereas the other kind of person, the primarily atheists, and even a lot of people that aren't atheists, see that basically natural things can form very like if you go and watch a stream and you watch the eddies in a stream that form, all the different shapes that form, or if you look at a tornado, I mean, there's an immense amount of complexity forming all by itself, right? Self-forming complexity. So there's two kinds of people. The kind of people that believe in abiogenesis and evolution basically worship natural processes and complexity. And I'm a complexity worshiper. And I have great faith in complexity.
Well, that's the other trick to kind of throw in like a little philosophical nugget is what we see as complexity actually complex in the eyes of a God. The thing that they appeal to show that there is a God, complexity, is that truly complex in the eyes of a God, in the mind of a God? This could just be a tiddlywink set.
Right. Yeah, for him it would be just papa, nothing. Boring.
I mean, it could be. You don't have any, there's no determination that they make. I just still like Otangelo because there's a part 3, Otangelo and Tom Rabbit, and he was basically kind of, it's like you can actually hear the appeal to, well, these scientists haven't been able to show something, so maybe this opposite is the case, this God. You can hear it when he's talking. You can hear that, oh, well, they haven't been able to show this naturalistic ways that these things come about from this and that and this and that. And then you're like, and so what? So because they haven't been able to show it, therefore the claims of a particular deity having done it is true?
Right.
Or,
it goes to the default.
Angelo is just wrong or lying because his sources are shit. Like, he's just putting together all this hodgepodge of stuff he copied and pasted from his blog space, and his references are all wrong. They're pointing to the wrong things, and he's just saying what he wants to say.
Well, I was getting on him on a live chat. It was on Knox channel, and he was basically jumping on me about me making the rounds and proclaiming things that I don't believe in. And I said, I said, well, it's not that I don't believe, it's I believe God's to not exist. And he goes, what benefit does that, what does believing something to not be the case have, where is there any benefit in that? I'm like, oh, I don't know, believing a person doesn't have cancer. If you believe that if you think that you have cancer, or you believe that there's something that's going on and you believe you might have cancer, and the doctors believe that you could have cancer, and then after tests, it's shown that you don't have cancer, now you believe you having cancer is not the case, that's a relief. So there's an example of believing something to not be the case that's beneficial to you. But he was just
sorry. I was
go
just going to
ahead.
say, also, I've seen you, get on there and try to understand what people who oppose you are thinking. And that's a function in and of itself. It's not just about what you don't believe. You're actually curious about what other people believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's not 100%. You can have a tumor; it just doesn't have to be cancerous.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they believe it might be tumorous, or they might be cancerous, and they find out, oh, well, we tested it, and the tumor is benign. So now we believe that it is not the case that the tumor is cancerous. So that's a relief. So that is believing something to not be the case that is actually a good thing.
Getting more variables helps understand things.
Yep. And that, at one point, I just ended up pissing Otangelo off by saying, well, since you're not really offering us anything by the belief in your deity, I'll just have to let you go. And I timed him out for 5 minutes. I told him he had to take 5 minutes to pull his head out of his own ass. Because he was being a dick. So he hasn't shown up on my channel in a while lately. I don't have anything personally against Otangelo. It's just I know his tactic. I know that tactic well. Let me see if I can get you to a nebulous deity. So then he sits there and tries to tell me that, oh, the thing is to get people to believe in something that gives them, that makes, that's a value, that's worth something. And I'm like, you're not offering that at all. If you're trying to argue just for a nebulous deity, so obviously you're already making your motivations true here. You want to get a person from nebulous deity to the deity that you specifically believe in, but that's not where you're going to. You're literally doing what Pine Creek told you to not do. Pine Creek told you might be a better idea to just show the resurrection of Christ as being the, that push. Okay, so the claim that Jesus rose from the dead and saved all mankind from sin and all this shit, that might be the better place to go to convince people of your deity. Not, oh, I'm going to convince you of a nebulous deity, and then once I can get your head wrapped around the idea of a deity, then I can get you to my deity. That's what Otangelo's doing.
Yeah,
that's why I don't like him.
Yeah. That's basically his tactic, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been trying to do that for a long time, and as we all know, he really sucks at it.
Yep.
So the thing I don't understand is, okay, so we got us human beings here, and we have factories, and we know about factories, and we know about workbenches and tool shops and tools, and we take some shit and we make some stuff, right? So we make this stuff. Now, but then they say, okay, we can't possibly make something as complicated as life. So life is too complicated for us little humans to make. But anyway, so there's this big ass fucking human. Big ass human thing, right? And I'm not going to draw. So give him a ball sack. Okay. Anyway.
Well, what if we can create bacteria, though? Are we technically creating life?
Well, they had once claimed that we can't. Humans don't know. Humans are the only thing we know about that creates factories and creates tools and makes stuff. But we can't make life. So they imagine a bigger human. This asshole over here, right? This big, sad motherfucker, daddy figure who can make life. So because we can't make life, they claim that life has to be made by somebody bigger and better.
The other problem that they have is the fact that this particular creator is creating from nothing. He's the creator of all things. That's why you have Christians like Praise who believe that everything that exists in the mind of God, because God doesn't, nothing physically exists. Everything that we understand as physical and metaphysical are just merely ontological states within the mind of a deity. And us as minds are independent minds that pre-existed in heaven, then came to earth to a physical existence. But those are all ontological states as well, including hell, which would have to exist in the mind of God. Evil and sin and disease and suffering, all of those exist in the mind of God, which he doesn't ever wrap his head around. But that's beside the point. But go ahead.
Including all these little minds, which supposedly have free will. So the minds and the bodies are all inside this mind over here. Here's God's little brain. So apparently, but how the fuck does that work? How does God's mind have all these little minds that have free will?
Well, because you have different. So you have Christians who don't hold to that; they hold to God as basically an all-powerful agent of the physical world. So they understand that there's supernatural, there's natural, there's metaphysical, there's physical, And that's kind of the Christianity I was raised with, was that we didn't exist in the mind of God. God was everywhere. We were all of his creation, the earth, the universe, and all this other stuff. But heaven was definitely his throne room. Hell was definitely a place set aside for those who didn't believe. The earth was God's footstool. But these were actually places, not ontological states in the mind of the deity. That was not kind of holding to subjective idealism in that sense, is not a position of most Christians or a lot of Christians. But there are, Darth Dawkins is a subjective idealist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he definitely is. And that's what Tangelo is trying to adopt. You can see, like, he's trying to mold the two things together. And of course, Darth is having no part of that, you know.
Mm-hmm. But you also have to make the argument that all those things would be consistent and that God isn't changing things around to hide himself from you. So there could be a case for divine hiddenness in the sense that if we're all minds existing in God's mind and God just does not want to be known by us, the things that he's trying to use to get people to realize that there is a God could change from day to day, because God can just change his mind whenever he wants, thereby affecting the minds that exist in his mind, and we would never know the difference. Just like we can't demonstrate that a universe popped into existence 5 minutes ago. See what I mean? It's kind of a fucked up little conundrum that you get into if you kind of hold a subjective idealism.
Yeah.
And that you believe that there's independent entities existing within another independent entity.
Yep.
But they don't. It amazes me the imagination of Christians who say that atheists use too much imagination, or it's their imagination. Because that's just some imaginative shit.
So, Speed, like what you just drew right here and what you were breaking it, you broke it all down to, and then you get to the God thing, and then you say, okay, well, how did God do this? When you get to that, when you break it down to him with that, and then it's like, whoa, we don't, and then on Tangelo's, whoa, I don't have to explain the explanation. Right. You break it to that, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah, so if you wanted to do it, sorry to interrupt, it wouldn't be a Venn diagram with things overlapping and meeting and overlapping in certain ways and how they relate. The Venn diagram is just one big circle, and it says God and then everything. It's just one circle. There is no Venn diagram. It's just a circle, and it's mind of God, and then equals everything. That's it.
Yeah. There's us in the world. Yeah. And there's nothing out here. So when we say that there's nothing before or outside of the Big Bang or the universe, basically, we're saying exactly the same thing there. Because there's nothing outside of God. So we could interchange God for cosmos in every conversation and be perfectly consistent.
Yeah. And you're basically on equal ground, really. It's you end up there. You end up exactly right there, and we can't explain this, and you can't explain that. So I don't have all the answers, and neither do you. You're on equal ground. That was pointed out on Tangelo the other day with Leo's conversation. He had a conversation on Math Pig's channel with that kid Matt, and the conversation got to that exact point where it's.
But here's the damn problem. Okay. We're on this little speck inside of the galaxy, inside of the cluster of galaxies, inside of the goddamn universe, right? And we make factories and we make things, and we're humans, and we do things with our hands, right? How in the fuck do they extrapolate that to God, where God is like over here, the entire universe, and he is exactly the same as us? So basically what they're doing is they have lost their grasp on humility, basically. And they think that the entire fucking universe was created by a man-like thing, an ape, right? Except he's a big, ugly, ugly, ugly ape, like this guy right here. So they're saying that basically the whole universe has to have something to do with man's mind. And whereas a naturalist will say, no, man's mind's just an insignificant little dab of fucking goo on a piece of dust. So I mean, who's humble here? We are humble. But on the other hand, we appreciate the complexity of the entire universe. So we're not just humble; we are also in awe, in worship of the universe, right? So who has the greatest faith? I do.
I mean, look at
fucking secular Buddhist.
Right, the humility. Yeah.
He just. An atheist just used faith. Oh no.
Yeah, I have faith in the complexity of the universe. Anyway, everybody should go listen to "Life Is Like" by the Suburbs. They're a Minneapolis band that almost made it national. They're really fucking good, and they're still actually performing at First Avenue concurrently.
Do you listen to them while eating funeral salad? Because that's that pickle weenie stuff.
Oh yeah, Pickawini Must. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I actually looked it up, and it's more commonly referred to as funeral salad.
Do they really call it that? You mean it isn't just us? We thought
no. I found a few links where it's commonly referred to back. Yeah, funeral salad. Yeah.
Yeah,
because funeral spread.
Yeah, because we used to just pray that one of our uncles or aunts would fucking croak so we could go have some fucking funeral salad, you know. And then we learned how to make it ourselves, and now we don't because we ran out of uncles and aunts. All of mine died. So
that's why we've always said that every day's a funeral at Speed's house.
Yeah.
Family dog died. Yep, time for some pickle weenie.
Funeral sandwiches.
It's probably one of the most disgusting things, though, I've ever even fucking heard of to eat.
Did you try it, though? I mean, it's really good.
I think I've had it years ago, but yeah, it sounds like something for potheads. But yeah.
Oh fuck yeah! Well, it's comfort food. You know, you just. I mean, I get 2 pieces of bread and I pile about 5 inches of that shit in between them, right?
Oh.
It's just wieners and pickles and mayonnaise. I mean,
yeah, isn't it specifically made from the Vienna sausage wieners?
Well, you could, but we use ballpark frags.
Oh,
in fact,
whoa!
As soon as I shoot this thing in the head, I'm gonna make myself a big fucking bowl of pickle-eating lunch.
Okay, so we chop up some pickles. Are they dilled or sweet?
Oh fuck, sweet! Oh god, there's no such thing as a sweet pickle in my world.
Okay, so they're dill.
Yeah, they're dill.
And mayonnaise.
And yeah.
Yeah, and there's no fucking such thing as don't you say Miracle Whip.
It's the one thing that a man is guaranteed to eat to make sure that a woman will not swallow. It'll change the. Well, you've ever heard that the certain things that you eat will change the flavor of your emissions?
This is a G-rated channel.
Bullshit. No, it's not. Don't lie to me.
I've got it marked for children. For toddlers and preschool kids.
Oh, right.
Children of Navy personnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that conversation went on a sideways track right there.
Yeah, I was just trying to get a quick recipe, just so I'd understand what you're talking about, because I didn't hear half of it.
So let's see. Okay, Andrew Cumming was in here, and he was going to show us the worm. He was going to show us the phylogeny, and then he never showed a screen, and then he left again. So what's going on, Andrew?
Is he shy?
We need some more science stuff.
He seems a little shy. But he's comfortable with the group and everything. But he doesn't like to just kind of sit in the live stream.
Okay, David.
Yes.
So I think starting tomorrow,
yep,
we'll try to answer your questions about what a genome is. Because
oh my God,
well, Jay, I want you to put Jay in timeout because he was very disruptive in class today. So
was he?
Yeah,
okay.
He was very disruptive.
Yeah, he kind of took. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's just take a look at the turns that he took us, the roads that he took us down, and where we ended up.
Yeah. Well, back to the humility thing, right? The humility. I mean, Jesus, these Christians don't have any of that because, I mean, look at praise, right? You, Jay, all the stuff that you talk about with him. I mean, the man just makes a fool of himself and
trying to be
and just doesn't seem to bother him at all.
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to talk about another scientific thing, he cited an article from 2015, and it had something to do with reality doesn't exist until it's measured. It got midnight stirred up. So I was doing a stream yesterday. I did one earlier, but then I did one yesterday, and it was a part of the video that I was reviewing, because Praise, of course, had a video, his justified derision of me, because I apparently can't read Exodus 21. But either way, it was about quantum mechanics, and he kind of cited it like, see, reality doesn't really exist until it's measured. I'm like, until it's measured. I was like, what the fuck does this have to do with the mind of God in any way, shape, or form? I had no idea what the fuck he was talking about, but it looked like I read the article on my channel. I don't know.
So God has a tape measure? Is that what it is? He's walking around with one of these carpenter's tape measures?
Yeah, it was
created reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. He just kind of he threw the article out, and when I was reviewing his video, I told my audience, I said $20, $20. I'm betting $20 that he doesn't comprehend a fucking word of that article.
I wonder if Praise, you think, Praise had or maybe he still does, a drinking problem, or I wonder if he's had drug problems, or.
No, he just thinks everybody else does.
Yeah.
He did actually. He likes to accuse Red Fang for some reason. So he likes to accuse me of being a drunk, even though he got a lot of his philosophy advice from One Way, who is a drunk. Nephilim Free, who he's talked to on many occasions, likes to get fucking sauced. So I don't know where that goes. And then he got on Red Fang for Red Fang. He's got like this image of Red Fang of like sitting around bags of weed and just like hotboxing and smoking weed all day. And he's just literally fried his brain on so much weed that he's just, Red Fang is incompetent. And the interesting thing is that Praise has even stated from long ago that he was really big into smoking weed, and it royally fucked him up.
Yeah.
And that's why he doesn't do it.
The reason why I bring that up is because, I mean, I don't know if it's a thing or not, but, you know, some people that like do a lot of drugs and stuff at a very young age can really, you know, kind of fuck you up and kind of lock your brain into that immaturity. It's like you started doing like really hard, heavy drugs or something at a very young age. It kind of locks you into that maturity level, and you don't seem to come out of it. And Praise seems to be that type of a person where he's like a 14-year-old. You know,
I did write in Jay's side chat earlier today that to me, Praise sounds like a drunk 16-year-old teenage girl.
He kind of does.
Yeah, that's actually fair. But getting him to talk about science, especially quantum mechanics, and the way he appeals to quantum mechanics as evidence for everything existing in the mind of a god, is hilarious. I have no idea how he gets there, and then he'll end up appealing to other YouTube Christians that might go, "Oh yeah, you're onto something here, but maybe there's more like this, or maybe," and then things kind of get tossed around, and then somewhere in that fucking pickle weenie mush of a brain of his, he starts basically vomiting this shit out later on down the line, and everybody's going, "What did he fucking say? What did he say?" And you can't make, and then when you try to correct him or try to make sense of what it is that he's trying to say, then he gets angry, and he gets hurt, and he starts doing fucking nasty videos about you for about a week or two, and then he finally settles down, and then he gets bored, and then he comes out with a video saying Dr. Josh is an anti-Semite because he just wants attention. It's an amazing chain. It's an amazing chain of events right there.
Yeah. So you've been doing videos on Praise for the last few days, right?
Anything that I can to just annoy the ever living fuck out of that cunt.
You definitely trigger him. You trigger him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, he'll get so triggered that he has to like go off and get his mind focused on something else. So that'll be coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
You got him really triggered right now, but he'll somehow flip it.
Well, this isn't the most I've had him triggered. Remember, there was that time he threatened to kill me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know that. I know.
Because he's like the justified derision. I'm like, oh, is this? I said justified. All I wanted to say is, dude, you already threatened to kill me once. Jesus Christ! Now you're trying to now you feel like you need to justify mocking me? Holy fuck!
So, Praise threatened to kill you?
Oh yeah, a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a while ago. Yeah.
Oh, he straight up. Yeah, he got mad because Nicola said something to Olive in a comment, and it pissed her off, and then it pissed him off, and then it long story short, he threatened to kill both of us.
From before when I was on the trampoline.
If you guys promise to go over to AJ's channel and hit the like button,
really,
I'll play this for you.
It goes over the Ohio River, and I said, I don't know, I've never seen that before.
I gotta hang on a second.
Who's AJ? Is that Atheist Junior? Is that who you're referring to?
Yeah, Atheist Junior.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Yep. Hang on a second here. I want to make sure that when I switch sound here and turn it on, I ain't gonna fuck everything up. As I do.
Is this one of his, I'm on my phone, so I can't quite make. Is this one of his streams that you've got showing?
Yeah. This Atheist Junior. It's only a minute long, and if I play it, so are you forbidding me from playing it, Atheist, or are you okay?
No, he explicitly requested you play it.
Okay.
Did you get any blood on you? I'd like to cover myself in ranch dressing this summer. Oh. Well, that's the sound I would make anyway. You've seen my nudes, right? My ass? From before when I was on the trampoline. The last three-way I saw was with some beavers and some cocaine parties. Really. Matchstick jukebox, and it goes over the Ohio River, and I said, I don't know. I've never seen that before.
It's a bad lip read. That's funny.
That was good. Right. That was really
bad
good.
Lip read. Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like Dr. Josh says. What was the IQ test lately? 91. A little slow down here.
You got to play the whole thing. AJ's mad. He wants you to play the whole thing.
Oh, you want me to play the whole thing? Okay.
That's what he said. Yeah.
And you get a copyright strike?
Are you gonna get? Yeah, I was gonna say. Are you gonna get?
I get struck for this. We're both gonna get copyright strikes anyway. Pretty cool.
And what was that Peter's icon at the end there?
Yeah. Peter produces a bunch of stuff or helps him out, whatever you call it.
Man, that's a recipe for a disaster. Anything involving the Dutch is just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I always pick on Peter for being Dutch. I'm sorry, I just can't. I just can't help it.
See, it says right there. Producer right there. It says it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like I said, it's really small print. So when I was looking, my wife is cleaning up the kitchen on our anniversary, which is fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I was like looking over, and then when I looked back at my screen, I saw normally the emblem that Peter uses, and it was spinning.
Yep.
Oh, let's see. Updating my description. We're trying to. So
quiet. It's quiet today, huh? There doesn't seem to be a lot of people around.
No, they must be watching something important.
Yeah.
Was Drag on earlier? Did they burn themselves out watching Shanny videos?
Oh yeah, probably. Anyway,
watch a couple hours of that shit, and you're just like, okay, that's enough YouTube for the day.
Oh my god, I watched like 20 minutes, and I was just like, it's riveting. It's amazing.
Yeah, that stuff is so fucked up.
It's a fucking train wreck. Like the video of them crashing the Durango or flipping the Durango on its side.
Oh, I didn't see that one. So
yeah.
What we need is a compilation, a Shanny compilation. We can make a fucking movie out of it, like a documentary.
I think there's several of those on Burnt Toast channel.
Okay, Burnt Toast.
Yeah.
Let me go look that up. I'll see if I can find that.
My favorite is the one where it's not a compilation. It's just a video of Rev getting fucked up going to pick up the kids from the school. That one is hilarious. It is like you see him get start out by getting into the vehicle and driving, and as he's driving towards the school, it is like into the depths of madness.
Really?
Oh, he is fucked up. I mean,
and this was used as evidence in the child services hearing.
I don't know if that one was necessarily used or not. I am not privy to all the gossip and the facts, and because there's a lot of stuff. There's gossip and there's facts. There's people that know both, and they're much better informed on it than I am. To me, it's really bad reality TV. Really bad reality TV.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's almost like that. What was that? That little weird girl in a trailer house from down south. What the fuck? They spoofed it on South Park. He mud wrestled her. Honey Boo Boo.
Honey Boo Boo. Yeah, and
that's
Mama
what
June.
That's what Shani reminds me of.
Yep. Yeah.
Mama June's got more teeth.
Now, Jay, when you said fucked up, what was he fucked up on? Like, was he getting fucked up on something, or?
It wasn't weed. He had taken some. He was like on meth or something. He was fucked up.
Oh my god! And he went and picked up his kids or the kids.
Oh yeah! At the end of the video, he has to get out. He gets to the school, and he's so fucked up he actually has to get out of his vehicle and throw up as the buses are pulling in.
Oh,
so he throws up on school property. Yeah. Phone running. He's still live streaming. So all you see is you can still see like his driver's seat and his phone sitting there on the dash or wherever he's got it mounted, and you see him get out. Oh, I gotta step out, and he gets out of the car and he.
My God.
Yeah, he is fucked up. He's all sorts of worked up driving. I'll pay that guy $9,000 for that car because I can fucking do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucked up. Just like, holy shit. Dude, what narcotics did you take? I have an idea. I got to go pick up the kids from school pretty soon. I'll pop one of these fucking pills or smoke some of this meth. Like,
oh, that reminds me. When I was like 22 years old, my daughter was 4. And one of the best times I had with her is when I dropped acid and watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with her, a Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, I know that movie.
Disney movie.
Hey,
right?
Oh, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
And both of us were like rolling on the floor, laughing and having fun. And I told her that, when she, as an adult, I told her that was one of my best memories with her, and she's like, "Oh fuck, I didn't have a chance."
Good thing you didn't watch Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
Oh yeah. Oh.
You'd have been freaking the fuck out, man.
Yeah,
you'd have opened up the closet, saw your brooms. Don't give me that look, Mr. Broom. Don't you roll your eyes at me, Mr. fucking Broom Handle.
But I mean, I was 17 when she was born, so I kind of wasn't ready to be a dad. So, in my defense, I wasn't quite ready at 17.
Yeah, that's definitely young.
I mean, fuck! I had just crawled out of a 4-month drunk. I was living in a cabin that was half burnt down, half collapsed, at a remote lake out in the middle of the woods for like 4 months. And I crawled out, found out my girlfriend was pregnant, married her. 2 weeks later, she has a baby. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I was 16 just a moment ago. And all of a sudden, I'm a dad. It's like, oh my God. It was like, I wasn't ready. But I also almost dodged the draft by being drunk, because I was in the woods, so I didn't get any of the communications about the whole. I didn't even know there was a war in Vietnam, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, that's some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And then I got a father's deferment. I crawled out of the fucking woods and I would have been drafted, and they would have sent me to Vietnam, and I would have been alive in Vietnam for about one fucking weekend, and I would have like found some drugs. And I would have been
there was a lot of that over there, so you definitely would have been in the mix of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm guessing I would have had a half-life of less than 3 days in Vietnam.
Yeah,
so I would have fucking died.
Yeah,
but I just like I just waltzed through the whole thing, you know, and it was I wasn't even aware
the average lifespan of an infantry soldier. This is what I heard when I was in the infantry. Was like 8 seconds.
Really?
Yeah. So even if you survived a weekend, you were still beating the. Of course, you weren't exactly in combat.
Well, I would have been too fucking drunk to show up for duty, so I would have been, either in the clink or,
Yeah, the average, it's the average life expectancy in combat for infantry is like I can't remember, it's 5 to 8 seconds or something goofy like that. Yeah. But I don't. That's probably changed over the years due to technology, better medical stuff, and shit like that. So,
I imagine that at some point they would have sat me down and said, "Son, you're too fucked up to be in Vietnam. You're going home." It's like we can't have you.
Actually, they could have used your tolerance for certain drugs as psychological warfare against the Vietnamese.
Yeah, they could have. Yep.
It's like, well, wait, what's happened to Vietnam's drug trade? Haven't you heard our secret weapon? We got Speed over here, and he's literally doing up all their drugs. They can't sell anything. They're at a deficit right now.
Yep.
It's like you've been like the Tyrone Biggums of fucking Vietnam.
Well, the other thing is that the Vietnam would have been a fuck of a lot different from some of the parties I went to for 3-4 days. So we were out in the middle of the woods. There were fucking crazy people trying to kill us. Everybody was fucked up. I'm pretty sure that was the same thing. So,
so Wrong Turn is based on you guys. That movie,
I think
Wrong
so.
Turn. Of course, the difference is that you guys ate the people in Wrong Turn, whereas the Wrong Turn. So, what was that we ate last night? I don't know. Does anybody remember those crazy fucking rednecks coming out of the woods? Nah. Wait a minute. Where are they? I don't know. But man, that barbecue we had was really good. I don't remember anybody bringing out any barbecue. Oh well.
Well, we ate what we made do. We made do.
Yeah.
But like the Iron Range in Minnesota had all of these pits that were dug like in the 1930s and 1940s. So they were overgrown. So they had trees growing in them, and they were gigantic, and they had roads going back in them. And so you drive back on these roads, and you wind for like 20 minutes, and you get down into the middle of the pit where the cops would never come, and you pop a few kegs and start a party, and it'll last for 3-4 days. We call them pit parties. And then I moved down here to Minneapolis, and like I was going to school, and we got invited to this party. Me and my wife got invited to this party, and we showed up, and they had like food at this party. They had food, and they had 1 case of beer, and we were looking at each other like, what the fuck? This is not a potluck party.
Yeah, this is a potluck, not a party.
No, we were just so shocked that somebody had food at the party. It's like, yeah, cigarettes, yeah, fucking marijuana, fucking acid, beer, but food?
A bowl for the keys, maybe.
Yeah, it just didn't compute. So it took a long time for me to adjust to the southern Minnesota way of life. I don't know.
Had to calm you down.
This looks like a copyright strike, Top Dog. Is this a copyright strike?
It was just a few seconds I was going to show.
We'll see if we get a strike. If we get a strike,
you just go back and edit it out.
Well, this is where Q talks about.
That will be a copyright strike.
That will.
That'll probably be. Yeah, you'll probably get a little copyright. You'll probably get a little thing. Hey, you can't use that. Or it might be like, possibly. I've gotten it where I've used just a few seconds, and then I get something that says, "Hey, your video will be limited viewership in Japan or parts of Europe." It's kind of weird. You can give it a shot. He might get something, you might not, but it probably won't strike anything against your channel. It'll probably just give you, hey, you can't use this, and then you can edit it out, and then you'll be fine.
I was just going to show like the few seconds of what they say about the what they thought the future past is like confusing to the 1980s, late 80s, their ideas about the past.
Don't do it.
Just only a few seconds.
Actually, the issue at stake is patriotism. You must return to your world and put an end to the commies. All it takes are a few good men.
What? That nonsense is centuries behind us.
But you can't deny that you're still a dangerous, savage child race.
Okay.
Dangerous, savage child race. 3 of these things aren't necessarily like the others.
Then
you think a child can be dangerous and savage?
It describes my family.
I was just going to show the next part.
No, don't do it. Don't do it anymore.
No, I'm saying, you got to see it. This was like the like something that was supposed to be the future of before they had the information.
Are you trying to fuck my channel up?
No, just a few seconds. It's not going to mess up anything.
That's all it takes to fuck up the life of a woman. Oh, it'll only be a few minutes.
Yeah.
Only a few seconds, I think. I can't remember what part. I'm going to play it just for a few seconds, though.
That humans will ever change.
But even when we wore costumes like that, we'd already started to make rapid progress.
Oh, yeah? You want to review your rapid progress?
Hey, I got a copyright strike for that.
Progress. To where humans learn to control their military with drugs. So
that was it.
You got to stop. Okay, so I got a copyright strike for showing that Arn Ra at the ARC thing.
You did?
Yeah. Not a strike, but a warning.
Oh.
It was Peter that was playing it way too long.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter how long you play it. You play like 3 seconds and you got it. So
oh yeah, ever since they put that detection on there. It's weird though, because I'm able to like I wonder exactly how they're making that differentiate their because it should be that you're able to use that stuff in the fair use used to apply that you could play this, or you could use it to like if you wanted to kind of like use a clip from a movie to kind of draw to a point of something or an argument that you were making, so that you would hope that they would look at that all in the context of how you were using this particular clip. But now it doesn't seem like they're doing that at all. It's like if you play it, they just slam you with it. Like
it was usually less than 10 or 7 seconds. I think you get okay.
Oh no! I played 5 seconds. I played 5 seconds. Yeah, I played 5 seconds of a song and got a copyright warning.
Yep,
songs may be a little different. Like 3 or 5 seconds for that. Maybe 1 second.
I don't think it has a timer on it. I think it just finds a fit and that's it. You're out. But
yeah, I think that's an algorithm.
You know what Erica does? I think she speeds it up or slows it down. Like she plays some music. And what is that music that she plays at the beginning of her videos? That really kind of like, it sounds like it's really slowed down, but it's, you know what I'm talking about? She did it yesterday.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of. You're talking about Gutsick Gibbon, right?
Yeah, well, man.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of her stuff.
What are you doing to your brain? You watch fucking Praise?
I'm not big into apes. So.
You're not big into apes.
You know whose music I really like is Math Pig's Outgoing. It's just all it is music. There's no singing or no vocals, obviously. It's like a guitar's playing and his outgoing thing. I really like that for some reason.
I actually did a stream a while back where I was reading a series of comment threads. And while I was reading it, I used in the background the soundtrack for the movie Ravenous, which was actually was written and performed by Damon Albarn, who's the lead singer to Blur and Gorillaz, the rock group.
Okay.
And I never received a copyright strike. I never got anything for that.
I really would like to hear Benny Hill right about now if you look in chat, but you don't have to, though, Speed.
Have to? What if I want to?
I think that's a hint that Otangelo's in his house.
Yeah, you got it, Jay.
Okay.
His ears were ringing to the point of bleeding, but there was a little bit delayed reaction, so he decided to come in and check out your channel.
Oh, yeah. We just made up, and now I played that fucking song, and now he's going to break up.
I know. That's why I said maybe you shouldn't. Now he's going to be gone for another month or two.
Shit. Why do I do this? Why don't I have any impulse control?
I know.
What is wrong with
I don't. Why do you use that theme for Otangelo? What's the history behind that?
Have you watched Benny Hill?
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
Clips. Okay, so it's just okay.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why you gotta ask, Jay. I don't know why you gotta ask. Anyway. Okay, let me play this. Isn't that great? What the fuck is that? I tried to Shazam it. I don't get anything. So I got to ask Erica.
Speed it up and then Shazam it.
Huh?
Speed it up.
Yeah, I suppose
the next time you try to Shazam it, speed it up and see if Shazam will see if you can get a hit that way off of it.
Yeah, but I'll get a copyright strike if her magic is working, and I think that's what she does.
Well, I didn't mean right now. I meant sometime.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Okay, but impulse control. Don't suggest shit to me that you don't want me to do.
Yeah. Shit.
Okay, I should have just held off, and I'll send you a fucking email. Do it now. If I want Speed to do something, I'll just write up an email, save it as a draft, and then as soon as I want him to act upon it, just go send.
Drop it.
When's that going to happen? Oh, I give it about 5 minutes max.
Something like that.
This is why we all come to YouTube, right? For the entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
The entertainment.
Yep.
So I linked that video. It's the nonsense of Gaia streaming. There's a channel called Gaia that has just like fucking incredible nonsense on it. Quantum brains, I think, and all that bullshit. So, okay. Did anybody hear about
that? That
this?
one sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's like, what did she call it? Discovery Channel or no, Netflix for the truly insane. It was pretty cool. That's what she calls it. Anyway, she's got a little video, 13 minutes long, where she goes through some stuff, and you should watch it. It's pretty cool. Oh, I haven't given it. She got 261 likes on it, 1,000 views. She's doing all right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, she's got a good thing going there. She does pretty good.
Yep.
Yep.
So has anybody heard about this fucking magnetic vaccine bullshit? Something? Some new conspiracy about a magnetic
vaccine.
There's something in the vaccine that alters the magnetic forces or something. I don't know what the fuck.
I did hear about that. Somebody was taking a magnet and putting it on their shoulder where they got the shot or something. Yeah, I saw that brought up somewhere.
I think they might have even had it on. It might have made it as far as Fox News. I don't know.
Oh no! It's actually John Oliver covered it.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, there's a Yahoo. John Oliver brutally mocks COVID-19 vaccine, quote, magnet theory.
I saw a medical doctor testifying before either the House or maybe one of the state legislatures or something like that, talking about how the vaccine turns you magnetic and it makes spoons stick to you because people will, put it up against their forehead and the spoon will stick or whatever.
Oh my God. Yeah, anti-vacciners hilariously attempts to prove COVID vaccines make you magnetic. There's a hot new conspiracy about COVID-19 vaccinations, and boy, is it magnetic. During a meeting of a state legislature health committee on Tuesday in Cleveland, of course, out of Ohio, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, a physician and expert witness, testified that COVID-19 vaccines could make people magnetic. And then in parentheses, they absolutely cannot. They felt weird enough, but then it got even weirder. Or that felt weird enough, but then it got even weirder. A woman who said she was a registered nurse attempted to prove Dr. Tenpenny's assertions by sticking some stuff to her chest. Oh my God. Vaccines do harm people, the nurse said. By the way, so I just found out something when I was on lunch, and I wanted to show it to you. We were talking about Dr. Tenpenny's testimony about magnetic vaccine crystals, so this is what I found out. She then pulled out a key and a bobby pin. Bobby pins are typically coated in plastic, and pressed the key to her chest. The key stuck. Really makes you think, doesn't it? Explain to me why the key sticks to me, she asked. It sticks to my neck too, she said, because pressing the key to her neck and having it promptly fall off. She also tried and failed to get the bobby pin to stick, as she said, yeah, so if somebody can explain this, that would be great. Those people are fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, okay, and then another one, who the hell was it? Oh, shit. One of the comedians with a late night show, Seth Meyers, I think. Is that the right guy? Yeah. Okay. So
it's from originally from Saturday. Well, it could be Fallon too. They're both from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it was Seth Meyers. He did a thing where he played this clip from this congressman, and I forget who the fuck it was, but I think he was in Congress, and he was talking to the Fish and Wildlife or something department, and he said, the sun's solar flares cause warming on the Earth, and it all relies on like the orbit of the moon. And isn't there something that you can do about the orbit of the moon?
Yeah, they wanted some agents. Yeah, they wanted an agency to do something about the rotation of the Earth around the sun.
Right. So he said they would sooner change. They're talking about global warming. They would sooner change the orbit of the fucking Earth than build a few windmills and buy an electric car. Right. It's like. And then she said, well, she paused for a long time and she says, we'll have to look into that. She's thinking, what a fucking wacko. And then later on, he claimed that he was being facetious or he was making a joke. But I think he was dead serious. It's just like, shit. But yeah, they would sooner change the orbit of the Earth than build a windmill.
Oh, that's right.
It's funny. Right. It's funny. All the Christians in our community, they just soak this shit up, right? I mean,
it was Louis Gomer. Yeah.
Shit. It's just, yeah.
Okay,
it's Gomer, Representative Louis Gomer of Texas.
I think Otangelo broke up with me again. Feel my absence, he said. I don't know.
Yeah, Gary.
Otangelo, I miss you. I want you to come back to my channel. I'm sorry I played the Benny Hill song. I'm sure. I'm so
Scott,
sorry.
I don't know, Scott. Are you still in here?
I didn't mean it.
Yeah. Did you? When I asked Praise, I said, "Hey, if you just let me know, Praise." Sometime it was like the end of my channel from yesterday, end of my stream from yesterday. I said, "Let me know when you want to if you want to sit down, and we can I can schedule out like an hour for you. We can sit down and have a little one-on-one conversation, so you can get butthurt about something that we talked about for a week." And then he responded in the live chat, and he said, "Only if you grovel at my feet and beg me." And so I responded with, "Ha ha ha. Okay, keep being a raging cunt then. Bye bye."
I saw that. Yeah.
I am truly
grovel at your feet.
I'm truly willing to grovel at Otangelo's feet right now.
Are you?
I miss him. I miss him horribly. I've been so sad. You guys can attest this. I've been so sad for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
In the back room before the show, we're like, God, I hope Otangelo stops in today. Damn.
I can see the modified images of Brokeback Mountain with Otangelo's face and speeds. I can't quit you. I can't quit you.
If you are still listening, you are welcome to come in, and we'll even let you quote mine and read all your quotes.
Wait a minute. I'm going to give Otangelo his wrench back. Does Otangelo have his wrench? Maybe that'll make him come in. I'll do anything at this point. I'm so desperate.
Yeah. Can read his whole vlog. How about that?
Where the fuck is he? I can't even find him. Oh, there he is. Oh, he doesn't have a wrench. I'm giving you a wrench, Otangelo. Right now, you are now a moderator. Okay.
That'll make him feel better.
That will make him feel better. I'm sure this will patch up our relationship significantly.
Yep.
I have hope.
Yeah.
God.
Hey, we could even tell him he could bring Darth too, right? Him and Darth can both come. How about that?
So, Atheist Junior, where did you put the name of the song?
There we go.
Yeah, he put it in there. I saw it.
Hey, I remember.
Mind Electric.
Does anybody here remember when Praise used to think I remember when Praise gave Gavin Herleman, this was a long time ago, when he gave Gavin Herleman full access to his channel, not just to his channel, but to his Google account, right?
Yeah, the whole thing.
And so, so one time I was in the live chat and somebody was like, see, and somebody was being I think it was Caleb, and at that time Caleb and Gavin weren't seeing eye to eye about a few things. Yeah. And Caleb said something to me. He goes, well, yeah. And he goes, oh, yeah, Jay? Well, you don't have a wrench. I'm like, yeah, like a wrench really matters when Gavin's in control. And sure as shit, Caleb got fucking timed out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and it was like, wait a minute, who timed out? How was Caleb timed out? He has a wrench. I'm like, because the owner can time those people out, and Gavin has ownership status.
Yep.
Because he's technically got access to the channel, and everybody was just like, so there's really no point in having a wrench. I'm like, not when Gavin's here, no.
Well, that all came about, right, Jay, when what was Praise like having financial problems or something, and Gavin was paying for his YouTube subscription or whatever, cable
at one time,
or whatever he was paying for.
Well, no, at one time, at one point it was he was piggybacking off of SFTs.
Right, that too, but Gavin was paying too, because I don't know if SFT stopped, like did it for a while and then stopped, and then Gavin. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, and then Smokey ended up sending $200 to Praise, and that gave him administrator privileges because Smokey paid $200, and that's the cost of administrating, being an administrator. I'm like, there's no cost in having people being an administrator. If you just have the standard StreamYard of where you only can have 6 people at a time, I can still give administrator privileges to somebody. Like I could give the access to that account to Red Fang or to Midnight or to Immutable or to my brother. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't cost me shit because I'm just running off the free one. But for some weird reason, there was some justification about the cost, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's if you want to be able to have up to 10 Goombas in your fucking channel at one time, sure. Right. But just because you can't, if you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. I mean, if people are willing to offer to pay for it, I don't see a problem with it. But if you start kind of giving these people kind of preferential treatment over other people, you may want to make a rule on that. If maybe it's fucked up because Praise doesn't like the fact. I think it's kind of sticks in his craw that he's not monetized. Yeah, he hasn't met monetization for YouTube yet. But he has never set up a Patreon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, have you not figured out how to do that? You don't actually have to be monetized for people to give money. You can set up a Patreon, and I don't think he knows how to, because he's a 13-year-old boy with nothing but delusions of grandeur in his mind.
Yeah, exactly. And like Red Fang just wrote in there, Gavin was paying for a StreamYard, and I think Praise is, he's a little people pleaser, whatever you want to call him. So I'm sure he turned around and gave Gavin the, the administrative powers, because he helped out. So it's all
So basically, Praise is Gavin's trick.
Yep.
Or Smokey's trick. Pay money. Yeah. If you want to do whatever you want, Praise's channel is like a whore. You pay money, and then you get to do with it whatever you want. Well, within reason.
Yep. Yeah. But then he's
bend over, baby.
Right. Praise started doing it. Right. He started off, I guess, with, I don't know who the first person was. SFT, I think, was probably the first person. Started paying. Then Gavin. And then, then he just started like being a little people pleaser. He gives administrative power to Olgatha. He gives it to the friggin' 15-year-old kid, Will. Like,
well, to be fair, SFT didn't have to actually pay for it. He was using SFT's what SFT was already paying for. So, but I think, I don't know why that I don't know the details of why that arrangement necessarily stopped, but either way, that's what I had heard at one point, was that he was, SFT was already paying $25 a month for his, and then he set it up so that basically, Praise could just log into his and just piggyback into his channel.
Yep. And SFT was taking advantage of that too, because he came on to the channel for a while and was like flexing his muscle, saying, basically saying how to run the channel and whatever. That was a while ago. Yeah.
If you want to eliminate that kind of situation, if you can't afford the 10, the basic membership, you just drop down and like what I don't like having 10 people. Some people can handle it. I don't like it. I don't like having 10 people in. I like the limitation of 6 at one time. But what I do is, even though people go, but I want to be able to have more hours for streaming time. Well, I've got 4 other email accounts that I can use. So that gives me 80 hours a month. So that's plenty of time.
I mean, it's nice having the 10 people, but like you said, a lot of times it can get out of control. But it depends on the people that are in the stream. I mean, if people are in the stream and say, you know what, give everybody a chance. Everybody's here. Everybody wants to say something. Everybody wants to participate. You just have to be courteous and let everybody have their say. And and then it's great. But if people aren't going to behave that way, it turns into a fest.
Yeah, honestly, I'm more. People talk about me, muting you and muting people and stuff like that. And I'm like, shit. If you think I'm being, when you come into my stream, it's being very courteous. Because if you were talking this shit in my house, I'd be chasing you out of here with my gun. So be happy you only get muted.
And that's the thing. People just don't. Most people don't have the respect. Like, I come here. I'm not going to sit there and talk over the owner of the channel. If the owner of the channel wants to say something, you shut up and let him say. Like,
I'll talk over you. I'll talk over Pete. I don't give a fuck. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a limit to it. I mean, of course you're gonna have a limit.
I'm having fun. Yeah.
But some people are just like really bad, But you know how these streams go. Some of the emotions get high too. So.
Oh yeah, I've never seen that happen. Like when somebody gets accused of being a pedophile. Yeah.
Yeah. We have
no reason why anybody would get mad at being accused of being a pedophile. No reason at all. Why are you getting so emotional? Because you're being a fucking slanderous piece of shit. It's what you're being.
Yeah. Yep. Well. Anyway, it's too bad. Well, a lot of people didn't show up today. We were gonna go over that Praise's video some more today. That was kind of the plan, but Leo didn't come today. Remember, we were gonna maybe review that a little bit more. But
which video is this one?
This was 2 nights ago. We watched a little bit of it. There was some pretty good conversations. SFT was on there. Like a lot of the regulars.
Wasn't that like wasn't that like an after show or something?
Yes.
Is that what you're referring to? Okay. Yeah. All right. I know what you're referring to.
Yeah. There was some pretty good conversations during that. They got into some battles with, young Earth, because, some of them are young Earth and some of them aren't. So that kind of got brought up, and they were kind of not really fighting, but discussing it, so that was kind of interesting. And then they got into some cosmology. I brought it up yesterday. We reviewed some of it yesterday during the weather report, because Leo was here yesterday, and Leo and myself are both we enjoy cosmology, and they were talking about it, and it was just a riot, some of the stuff that they were saying. So we went over a little bit of that yesterday.
Slinging poop, demonstrating that the ape ancestry is actually being some of it still carries over to humans. Well, we're still throwing poop at each other here.
Yeah, SFT was going on about like the Earth was in a white hole, in a gravitational hole, and it was held so God could create all the stars in the universe, and the Earth didn't experience any time, and he went on and on about all this crap. It was
a gravitational hole. Where does a gravitational hole come from?
Yeah,
was he making a loud sucking sound? Or what?
He was just making shit up,
Was he just breathing in real deep?
Yeah.
They'll build it real quick.
I mean, it's just crazy the stuff that they come up with to make their Bible fit. It's amazing. They just make shit up.
And all you got to do is next time when you hear a conversation like that, just throw up a little GIF of, because I know SFT liked to do this a lot, where he had the little SpongeBob with the rainbow, said imagination. Just do that. Just do the same thing to them. Just go, that's some fucking imagination right there.
Yeah.
So I got a new book.
Play that game too.
What do we got?
I got a new book.
Yeah.
This is by Michael Ord.
Oh, right.
And Reed, Rock Solid Answers. That goes through, and they got a bunch of articles about why the flood happened. And they got like some complicated diagrams, and they do the sciencey stuff. Anyway, I'm excited about that. I also got a new copy of Answers in Genesis. I just signed up for Answers in Genesis, and I realized I didn't have a password. And so I created a password, which I'm going to give away on my stream. God really sucks. I could not help myself. It's that impulse control thing. But in their Answers in Genesis, they got something called a binturong. You ever heard of a binturong?
Yeah, isn't that an animal?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And anyway, they got one for their zoo. I don't know, they got an Ark Zoo or some fucking thing. I don't know what they're doing. What are they doing to those animals?
A binturong. That's that weird. That's almost like they're like a sloth, aren't they? Kind of like a spiny sloth.
Well, they said it's not the bear kind and it's not the dog kind, but it kind of looks like a cross between the two. And then they never told us.
It's the anteater kind.
What kind is he? Yeah, what the fuck kind is he? I'm not sure. So this is a binturong.
I think they're aren't they like a cross between like anteaters and badgers or something stupid like that?
Yeah, I was going to say a badger. That would be in a badger family somewhere. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but maybe the badger kind. But I was wondering, but they never told you what kind it was. But anyway, they have one.
What kind does it know? Can you guess what kind it is? Oh my fucking god! No, that comes later.
So anyway, I don't know what kind that is. It kind of looks like the teddy bear kind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So who authored that rock solid book, Speed?
Oh yeah, they're the ones. Yeah, the first time I saw one of those, it was a video. It was a clip. Conan O'Brien had somebody on that had one of them on, and they smell like popcorn.
Really?
They made mention of that they have a very distinct smell, and they smell like freshly popped popcorn.
Oh shit, that's not survival oriented.
Brainbug is educating us. It's not a badger clan.
Or feliforms. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the cat kind.
What do they taste like?
Right? Gotta be cat kind.
Yeah.
Don't look
Oh,
like
so
no
it's more cat than badger. Cool.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
Yep.
Okay. So you didn't answer who authored that Rock Solid?
Michael Ord. He was on SFT's channel spouting.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
And it's basically there's two editors and they have a bunch of papers by let me just peruse this thing here. See what the fuck's in here. I don't know, Michael Ord does one of the articles. I don't really recognize any of these people. Michael Ord does a lot of John Whitmore, John Reed. Those guys do a lot of the art. In fact, it's supposed to be a compilation, but there's only like 3 authors. Interesting.
Jay, your
And
brother's making fun of you.
What's that?
Your brother's making fun of you. Popcorn Kitty.
Popcorn Kitty.
Yep.
Oh, that's so cute.
I think Popcorn Badger would be better. God damn it.
Yep.
Speaking of strange animals, my pit bull's being a fucking spaz right now. What you doing, bitch? What are you doing?
Be careful. You piss him off, he's going to chop your leg off.
Nah, she's a pussy.
Yeah.
She's a love bug. Ah! Except for when she holds on. This is when she does that. She doesn't know her own.
On straight. Yep.
But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. Wife and I are gonna go.
Yeah, we're going to shoot this in the head.
All right, Jay.
So, Jay, it was your brother that recommended the call video, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The what video?
That was great. That's a perfect.
And then I added this.
Oh, God.
I'm going to shoot her in the head, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Stay curious.
Yeah, that was cool. So, anyway, thanks everybody for showing up. And what else? We have it. I don't know. We got a whole bunch of stuff we got to do tomorrow. We got to talk about the genome. Maybe I'll look at this Rock Solid Answers book a little bit. I'd like to go over some of the Answers in Genesis stuff that I get in a magazine every month, but we'll see what we can get to. Try to do something. So, goodbye, cool world.
Yes.